Pro Tour Valencia.
Is your only good matchup the mirror?
That matchup is just the least fun thing in the world, and I don't think it's just a flip. It's so stupid.
How often do you get turn 3 Karn?
100% of the time.
Wow, that deck is good.
All 900 matches, all turn 3 Karns. There's plenty of people that can vouch for me that that's what happens. So, no, it's just it's gonna be a fun weekend next week, and I'm really looking forward to it. No standard action in Detroit. It's gonna be modern, but it should be a blast.
So both players present, and they're ready to draw their opening 7 cards here, and see if let's see if we're gonna have a fair game here. Where both players keep their openers.
A fair?
Yeah.
I think what's fair for Van Fleet is a little different. Fair. I think like fair for Van Fleet is Jessup not drawing a Reckoner. You know?
Yeah.
Let's play a fair game. You don't draw a Reckoner or Smiter, and I kill you on turn 5.
Looks like is Van Fleet. It looks like both players might be keeping. No,
there goes Jessup.
Jessup has the mulligan, so Van Fleet's got to be happy about that. There's potential for him to actually steal the first game here.
How's this deck mulligan? Decently?
It's okay. I find that it does mulligan a lot, though.
Oh, really? Like bad mana?
I have mulliganed a lot with the deck. I mean, you're a 3-color deck. You know, sometimes you're gonna have any deck that has you're gonna have mana problems sometimes.
Sure.
So yeah, I find that it does mulligan. I don't aggressively mulligan with the deck, but yeah, I do find that it does mulligan a lot, simply because of the nature of the fact that you're 3 colors.
Sure.
But again, not the worst shape for Jessup, just because he still is on the play, and he doesn't need a lot of cards to beat Van Fleet. Basically, like Smiter, Thunderbolt, lands can be enough.
Yeah. Smiter is just the actual brick wall.
Yeah. Van Fleet really needs like Domri or some combination of like Rampager and Mizzy Mortars kind of deal with it. He only has 3 copies of Mizzy Mortars in his main deck though, so that's actually obviously a very good card. Also deals with Reckoner too. I mean, obviously you're going to 2-for-1 yourself most of the time, but if you have to go like turn 2 Strangler-Geist attack and then go Reckoner, you're like, all right, Mizzy Mortar's your guy, and what are you going to do? You're just going to kill the one side of my Strangler-Geist?
Yeah.
Like, usually I just dome them for 4, but looks like Jessup's still shuffling here. Let's see if his opening, if his next 6 cards are better than his first 7.
Van Fleet's got his 7, looking to steal game number 1 away from what looks to be a pretty difficult matchup for him.
Yeah, and Jessup's, first 7, it looked like he had a Gavany Township in his hand, and that's one of the obnoxious things about this deck is you're 3 colors, and you only play 1 copy of Gavany Township, but it really screws with your mana sometimes because you have
Township in that deck. Your creatures are huge.
I didn't play any Gavany Townships, but Jessup does have 1 copy, and it really hurts your mana because you have cards like Voice of Resurgence and Boros Record.
Oh boy, down to 5 he goes.
Wow. 5 cards here. Again, you're really good post board. So even if you lose game 1, it's not the worst thing for you. But again, you really don't want to be on the draw in game 3.
Yeah, that's the big one, right? You don't want to be on the draw game 3 because you can just get killed way too quickly before you can stabilize. It's not where you want to be, but not the best time mulliganing for 5, but again, I'm not quite sure when the best time is to mulligan at 5.
Preferably round 1 of a tournament than round finals.
All right, Mr. Jessup. He is capable of winning on a mulligan to 5. Don't get us wrong. It can happen.
This is basically 2 rounds in a row of a Van Fleet's opponent's mulligan to 5.
Whatever it takes. That's what I said. It's magic, man. It can happen.
Anything can happen.
Yeah.
Does Jessup's t-shirt say Impact Player?
Does.
I like it.
It's a great tag team.
What is it?
It's a great tag team. The Impact Players.
It's a wrestling team?
It was. I don't know what his shirt is referencing. Probably not the wrestling team from the late 90s.
The Impact Players? I don't remember hearing it. I used to watch wrestling a lot.
Did you watch ECW?
Oh, no. ECW?
You better be careful with the next words that come out of your mouth.
Oh, I forgot you're from Ohio.
What does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, people from Ohio just love wrestling.
Well, there's not much to do. So, is he gonna go down to
Jessup does
4?
not. Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
Oh my god!
Unbelievable.
Van Fleet's living with the Angels in these past few rounds.
Yeah.
So,
are you gonna go all SCG Columbus on us now? Or excuse me, Pro Tour Columbus on us?
No, those are the old days.
Yeah, you're all grown up.
I'm all grown up now.
You did just want to beat DQ, right? Yeah, you're all grown up.
No more ham sandwich references.
I'm trying to get it out of him, guys. I've been trying the entire year. He won't break.
You're fired.
Yep.
That's the next thing.
Yeah. I've been trying all year.
I don't need an email from Evan Irwin.
Are you sure? You can pie him in the face again.
You're done. I did like that.
Squadoosh.
Well, we should have. Why don't you guys do more pie bets? I want to see more
Brad
people.
and Evan do all the time. They're gonna be doing the Theros Magic Show, the whole entire review. I'm sure there'll be a pie bet or two in there. This is not the end for pie bets and Evan being pied in the face. Trust me.
Are they going to do any more of those bets where they bet on which card is going to be more valuable, like in a month? I think they did that. Didn't they do that for the last set?
Yeah, they're doing above the curve. Yeah.
Yeah, which card they think is going to be more valuable. I like that. I like the speculation.
Yeah, it's fun. It's always good to see Evan get pied in the face too. Just right in the mush. 2, 3, and 4.
Yes, about 4 cards.
This easy one for Jessup.
3 lands Reckoner.
Yeah. Snap keep. Yeah, snap him right off. Ooh,
Ooh.
And stomping ground untapped. Best of luck. There's Navison's Pilgrim.
I think Jessup just wanted to make it fair for Adam.
I think that nice guy.
Now it's fair.
He has a Voice of Resurgence he can play in turn 2 as well. All right, here comes. This is some sort of mana accelerant, of course. There's an Arbor Elf. Going to pass the turn back to Jessup. Jessup untaps his lone land. He has. Oh my goodness, what's happening here? Okay.
Oh, let's go, Jessup. Here we go. Oh, miss.
All right, he misses. That's okay.
Come on, he needs to regain some of that card loss. Are we going to see Stringer Geist here? Ooh, Flint of 4. So Flint of 4 is going to be able to tick. Oh, that's huge because now, even though Domri's still in play, he can't use it to fight. Ideally, he'd want to be able to go like Reckoner, white red source Reckoner, and then fight 2 of your guys. But now he can't do that. He's just gonna have to uptick it.
We're going up. See if we can find a creature.
Can we see a Lockstone Smiter? Ooh,
Pilgrim.
Something again.
It's not the worst thing in the world.
So I think he can play Pilgrim and Voice of Resurgence this turn. So that's pretty good.
You see him rearrange his mana. There's the Voice. And there's the Pilgrim and a land.
So
for Mulligan 4, he's not doing that bad.
A top deck Thundermaw would be fantastic.
Yeah, like he needs that Domri to stay in play, but he's actually not doing that bad.
No, he's not doing bad at all. I'll go on a limb and say he's doing pretty good.
Yeah. I'm with you on that one. There's a forest there from Van Fleet.
Oh, it looks like Van Fleet has
he has multiple
Mizzy Mortars. Yeah. But he only has 1 red source, so he's not going to be able to deal with both Pilgrims. So if you wanted to try to keep Jessup off of 5 mana.
See what he's attacking here. It looks like it.
I would snap block with Voice. I would not double block because one of the ways you can just sneak
Rampager.
Yeah. I would just block with Voice.
Yep.
One of the ways you can kind of steal a win here is if you top deck a Thundermaw.
Yep.
I want 5 mana in play.
I'm 100% with you. You got 3/3 elemental.
Yeah, your elemental is going to be a 3/3 anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Like if he has Rampager, good beat, you're not beating it anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would not double block.
I like just blocking with the Voice there. So now is Adam? Maybe Adam's thinking maybe I'll just Mizium Mortars the Voice token. Looks like, or maybe he wants to try to keep him off 5 mana. Nope.
Down goes the Voice token.
I like that. Play conservative. You're up a lot of cards. You know, obviously top deck Thundermaw can be good, but you got to play to the odds, and I think the odds are that he's probably not going to get a Thundermaw next turn.
So let's see. Yeah, I'm interested to see what's going to happen here. Looks like we're going to see Arbor Elf untap a forest. There's green mana there. I think he has a String Geist in his hand that he's been hanging on to.
I'm surprised that he wouldn't have played it pre-Comet though and just attacked.
Yeah, me too.
Because if he really wants to deal with the Domri, he probably could have killed it that turn, or at least dealt with the Pilgrim and kept him off 5 mana. But either way, Van Fleet's got to be happy that Jessup has no copies of Bonfire in his deck, because Bonfire is a potential blowout. But they both know each other's deck list, and he knows that there's no Bonfire in the deck.
All right, it's the ooze.
So let's see. 2 chances to draw a Thundermaw here. Can he get it?
All right, this is going up.
Yeah, that was a fresh card because he hit with the Avacyn Pilgrim before.
There's an ooze.
So that's a good draw, at least.
That's a really good draw.
He'd be able to activate his ooze first because Van Fleet is tapped out, so he can gain some life here.
So there's the ooze. You got to remove right now. Got to.
Yeah, you have to remove now. You don't want to let Van Fleet untap.
Depending on what that other card is. Like, it could be like a smiter or something. Might be
Yeah, the question is, do you want to play? Yeah, do you want to play a smiter or do you want to activate? I think you want to activate. I don't know if he has a smiter in his hand, but I kind of like activating here.
Yep, right, remove that. 3/3, gain some life.
So looks like we have another play too. It's yet another Pilgrim. Wow.
Okay.
Thankfully, Van Fleet is far away from being able to overload that second Mortars in his hand, but
it's a big deal.
It will be able to do with the Scavenging Ooze.
Van Fleet kind of drawing pretty poor here. Just doing a Mana Accelerant. He just drew another Arbor Elf. He has, I think, an Avacyn's Pilgrim in his hand, or excuse me, an Elvish Mystic. He's drawing a lot of Mana Accelerants.
It looks like he might have a Mystic. He has the Mortars. I think he also has a Hell Rider, but he only has 1 red source.
So there's the second Mortars that's going to take care of the Scavenging Ooze.
So sadly, it looks like Domri might end up fighting it this turn.
I don't think you put a lot of guys in front of right. Like you just let it go.
Yeah, you have to let it go. It's going to die. I mean, if everything's attacking Domri, then you know he's going to have to lose it. But again, I think Jessup did hit with Domri last turn.
Yep, found that Scavenging Ooze.
He's going to get a fresh draw. He knows it's not it could potentially be another creature. It could be that Thundermaw. Well, let's see what he's doing. Does he want to try to keep Van Fleet off of 4 mana?
I think he's weighing that option. Again, he has 2 Mizzen Mortars of his own.
I don't see a reason to really trade there, especially because you have Gabony Township in your deck.
Yeah, that can actually kind of come back and steal a game.
Yeah, exactly. So
at least catch him up.
If everything's attacking Domri, that's fine.
What do we find?
Gabony would be pretty huge draw right here.
2 mana. Is it in 3 mana? Feels like a smiter.
Another Domri. Okay, not the worst.
Up we go.
Oh, wow.
Yuck.
Yeah, so that's basically a blank for the turn. It's going to die this turn. He could choose to double block, but
not sure that.
Oh wow! Much. Van Fleet drew Domri, so yeah, there's really nothing. Domri can come down. The Flint of Boar can fight one of the Avacyn Pilgrims, so it looks like Jessup's Domri is definitely going to die this turn. And I don't see why not, because you know that Jessup missed, so there's likely just a land on top of his deck, possibly a spell, but either way, there's not really a spell that's going to blow you out here. So I like just killing one of the Avacyn Pilgrims and then attacking with everything.
So there is a Domri on both sides of the table. New legendary rule in effect. Minus goes the Domri. Going to take care of the Avacyn's Pilgrim via Flint of Boar. And creatures are coming sideways.
Yeah, this is why I like playing Bonfire in the deck, because even though it's not amazing against certain decks, it still gives you the potential to just blow out some people, you know?
You know what you need to do? Sell me on Bonfire. you should sell me on it. It's really going to be tough. It's probably my second favorite card in the format behind Thundermaw Hellkite. The fact that you can just draw it and get back into a game and or just win a game immediately.
Yeah, I like completely demoralizing my opponents. I like any card that makes my opponent question their life decisions.
Yes.
It's like, why did I bother coming to this tournament?
Or just the fact that there would be pure hatred for you.
Yeah.
That's sign of a good card right there.
It's like, why did I bother even showing up today if I'm going to have to play against Bonfire the damn?
Some quick technical difficulties that we are getting figured out for you guys.
So, yep, Van Fleet just sends everything towards the Domri, and Domri ends up dying. Jessup does lose one of his Avacyn Pilgrims because of the Domri fight on Van Fleet's side of the board. Jessup doesn't have a creature to draw this turn. Did he draw a spell? Perhaps another Domri?
I like that attack. That's just a confident attack.
So it looks like he's just going to tap and use it to activate the scavenging ooze, maybe.
I think if Jessup knows that his back is against the wall, he does take care of the Domri, thankfully, but his back is back against the wall. And as you mentioned, just know if he had Bond for the damage draw too, he could actually like steal this game. There's a Sacred Foundry and passing the turn back.
Yeah, Bonfire could steal the game. Thundermaw, I think if he can draw it next turn, can still help him. But
I think he's got one window.
I think he's got one window, yeah. And he also has to hope that Van Fleet bricks Burn a red source right here, which he did not. So I believe he might have a Thundermaw or a Hellrider.
Yeah, it's a Thundermaw.
Yeah, it's a Thundermaw. Yeah. So
I think the Thundermaw window's closed now.
yeah,
too.
there's just too much now for Andrew to overcome. He's basically dead next turn, I believe.
He's going to take 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. He goes down to 8.
Andrew doing the math, seeing if there's anything else he can do. Doesn't have enough mana to overload Michigan Murder, so that's game 1.
He played he got to play a little bit of a game there on Mulligan to 4.
Yeah, a Mulligan to 4, it's, tough to overcome. Jessup did his best. He missed a couple too many times with Domri, though. So
yeah, he's going to have to run perfect to win that game. Like He's got every Domri he has to hit, and then for his draw step it needs to be a land, and then he needs to hit a creature with Domri. Like he has to run actual perfect. It's not impossible.
There were basically 2 turns where if he just top deck a Thundermaw, I think he just wins that game.
Yeah.
Based on the way it played out. So unfortunately for him, if you're going to mulligan to 4, you're going to have to get lucky to win. So.
Yes. Well, thankfully for him, there are 2 more games to be played. But right now, we have to ask you guys a trivia question to attempt to give away one person a full year. Of course, you've never played before. I'm just going to ask you a question very, very quickly. You will hashtag your answer with the hashtag of SCG Premium on Twitter. We will select one winner from the people who do get it correct. So it is about accuracy, not speed, because we'll be announcing the winner at the conclusion of this match. The question here is, in the sideboard of Andrew Jessup's deck, he's got 3 enchantments. Auras, if you will, that are going to be pretty gosh darn good in this matchup. And if you can name that 3 of aura in his sideboard, that's going to make him a little bit courageous. Tweet your answer, hashtag SCG Premium. We will announce one winner at the conclusion of this match here between Andrew Jessup and Adam Van Fleet, as we're going to cut it back to the match for you guys, because we are going to analyze the sideboards here. The Naya Mage, yourself, I'm just going to let you do your thing.
Well, personally, I do not care for a Domri raid in this matchup.
Wow. All right, explain that.
It's just not very good. You obviously missing with the Domri isn't great, but it's mostly the fact that fighting is okay, but it really is only good in combination with Smiter and Reckoner. And if you already have those cards in play, you're already in good shape. So, and you're boarding in spells. So if you're boarding in spells, the Domri is just going to be less effective. So generally, even though you have the potential to kind of blow them out sometimes with Boros Reckoner and fighting some of the creatures, that's really only good against opponents that have a lot of 2-power creatures, which is not something that Red-Green has. So in general, I don't like Domri in this matchup very much, especially since I'm boarding in spells like in Flinching Courage. So I'm probably going to board out the Domris. So that's 4. And Flinching Courage is definitely coming in, so that's a 3 of. The Oblivion Ring, I can see that coming in too, because again, it's another way to deal with Thundermaw, which is one of the problem cards in this matchup. So 3 in Flinching Courage, 1 Oblivion Ring. I kind of like bringing in those 4 for the 4 Domris. The only other thing I can see maybe boarding in is Ray of Revelation. And people always ask me, why do you board in Ray of Revelation? Well, I usually like to hedge against them playing Burning Earth. Generally, I do it more when I'm on the draw.
Okay.
If I'm in the play, I'm not too afraid of Burning Earth, but if I'm in the draw, sometimes I like to hedge a little bit against Burning Earth, but mostly it's because they also have a card like Volcanic Strength. Volcanic Strength on a card like Flinthoof Boar can actually just close the game out pretty quickly. It's like a mini Thundermaw in that it's 5 points of power that I just can't block.
Yep.
Now, granted, I have a card like Selesnya Charm, but that's really my only answer to it. So I think if you're red-green, I think you have to be a little aggressive in terms of how you try to attack Naya, because you have to assume it's a bad matchup. So whenever I'm playing against a bad matchup, I try to be a little more aggressive in my strategies. And I think Volcanic Strength just makes sense against Naya. So when I was thinking it from my perspective as the Naya player, the card I didn't want to play against was turn 2 boar, turn 3 strength on the boar attack.
Sure.
Because that's one of the ways I will lose. It puts pressure on me to draw my sideboard cards.
Sure.
Or draw a Selesnya Charm to answer it. So that's why I kind of like hedging a little bit, because Revelation's good at dealing with volcanic strength. It also kind of is a backdoor answer to potential burning earths. So I think maybe Rampager one or two Rampagers can come out for some number of Ray Revelation. If I'm in the play, I might just board out one Rampager for one Ray. If I'm in the draw, I might board out 2 for 2.
Okay.
But again, being on the play right now, I definitely think I like taking out the Domries for the Infliction Courage and maybe the Oblivion Ring, and then possibly just bringing in one Ray Revelation. He also has 2 copies of Blasphemous Act, although I don't know how much I like Blasphemous Act in this matchup. You can backdoor into a win with Boros Reckoner, but you know, it's okay, I guess. It's probably a little bit better than Rampager, but again, Rampager in combination with a creature that you unflinching courage is actually pretty good sometimes, because one of the ways that they can beat like a Lockdown Smiter with an unflinching courage on it is just to like double block with 2 of their guys.
Sure.
You know, I had extra Selesnya charms to bring in to sort of mitigate that. However, Jessup doesn't, so not sure if he can afford to kind of board out all of his Rampagers.
Particularly the Van Fleet sideboard, 2 Zealous Conscripts, 4 Burning Earth, 3 Volcanic Strength, a Rurik Thar, 2 Chandra Pyromaster, 2 Flames of the Firebrand, and a Pillar of Flame. I love Volcanic Strength as a way to just try to steal a win, as you had mentioned. And we'll see if Jessup does hedge a little bit with Rave Revelation, as you mentioned as well. 2 Zealous Conscripts, I like that as well. There are plenty of big creatures to steal from Jessup's side, especially one that does have Inflinching Courage, so I'm a fan of that there. The rest of it gets a little bit hairy. I don't love Burning Earth in this matchup. I don't really think it's going to get to a win, especially when you're on the draw. Rurik Thar is just far too expensive for this matchup, in my opinion. Chandra Pyromaster, the +1 ability is not really going to take care of anything. I don't think you really have the time to activate the 0 ability and have it have an impact, because we're not really in an attrition-based matchup. And Flames of the Firebrand and Pillar of Flame are kind of the interesting ones, where Flames of the Firebrand can't take care of a Reckoner, but at what cost, really? And then Pillar of Flame can take care of a Mana Accelerant and can also take care of a Voice of Resurgence, but again, that's only a singleton, and I just really think it's kind of a low-impact card, where high-impact cards are very important in this matchup.
Yeah, the only thing I would do if I was going to fleet would probably be board out the Domries for the Volcanic Strength and maybe 1 Zealous Conscript. Beyond that, I don't really think you want to board in any of the other cards. Burning Earth is a possibility, but on the draw, it's much worse.
Yeah, I really don't like it on the draw in this matchup.
And Chandra is another card that I would consider, but again, that's another card that's much worse on the draw than it is in the play.
Yeah, it just seems like the Chandra in this matchup just doesn't seem very good to me again, because the +1 isn't going to do very much in this matchup, and then the 0 effect, the first time you play it, you're not actually going to really activate the 0 effect, because you're not going to cast the spell that you possibly turn over, and then do you really have the amount of time to actually do that? And if you are looking for a card advantage engine like that, I think you'd much rather just have Domri than that one.
Well, it's mostly for the games where you're on the play and you're able to go turn 2 haste creature, turn 3 haste creature, and Jessup plays a turn 3 Smiter or Reckoner. Then you can go Chandra, ping it, make it unblockable, make it so that it can't block, and then keep attacking with your guys.
Sure, just keep forcing through damage.
Yeah, at that point, Jessup's in a position where, okay, do I attack the Chandra and get rid of it, or do I just, what else do I do? Because if I keep my guy back to block, they're just going to activate Chandra again. It's still not a blocker. So it effectively, if you're on the play and you get that kind of draw, Chandra can effectively deal with a creature for 2 turns and make it so it can't block for 2 turns, sure, more or less. So that's the only way. That's the only situation that I kind of like that card. But that might just be too narrow, because later in the game it's probably much worse. So while I can see it being good in certain situations, I'm not quite sure it's good enough in this particular matchup.
Gotcha. And we'll see how both players do end up sideboarding here. If you guys are just joining us, Cedric Phillips, Osid Lebedovich here in the booth, Star City Games Open Series, the finals here in Philadelphia of the Standard Open. You can join us on Twitter all weekend long at SCG Live, #SCGPHL for your tweets. We'll be checking them all weekend as we make our way through the finals of the Standard Tournament. And then we kind of slide and glide through a Legacy Tournament, crown a champion there as well.
So Jessup was a little unlucky game 1, had to go down to 4 cards, wasn't able to pull it out despite a valiant effort on his part.
That's a little unlucky?
A little
I'd like to know what's a lot unlucky for you.
I'm mulligan to 0.
Okay. Well,
Jessup looks like he's going to keep, and now it's Van Fleet's turn to mulligan, so I think...
How do you like it, huh?
How do you like it, yeah.
You see what it's like to play with less cards. Not any fun.
I'm hoping for a turn 1 Avacyn Pilgrim, turn 2 Unflinching Courage, my Avacyn Pilgrim. Turn 3 Unflinching Courage.
Again?
I want the old school win.
Yeah, cloak it. Let's go.
Let's get aggressive.
Yep.
Let's get aggressive.
Let's do this, boys.
Good old cloak.
Unflinching Courage. You know, it's... I wonder if that card's going to see more play once Theros shows up. It's one of those cards that I feel like is just kind of I think it's like a super good card, but it's just kind of under the radar right now. You know, it's seeing play in sideboards mostly.
I don't think it's a main deck card, but I think it's one of those cards. I don't think it's ever really been a main deck card other than like in hexproof decks.
Yeah, there was a Talos deck back in like 2008 or whatever that played it, but that was a Talos deck.
Way to show your age, buddy.
Thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, okay,
tell me more about this Talos.
I'm gonna let you show us your age, Armadillo Cloak. When did that see play in main decks or no?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you just joined us, Cedric's going to regale you with Tales of Talos.
Yeah, here we go. Here we go.
From the Stone Ages.
Yes, you play the Talos, then you cast a Kami of Ancient Law and go searching through your deck.
Wow.
Yeah.
That deck sounds like something. Decks were much worse back then.
Yeah.
It's
they
funny
were.
because
this was an extended deck.
There was a period where standard decks were like amazing, like Academy, like the standard decks were just too powerful. And then there's a period where standard decks were pretty bad.
Yeah.
And now we're at a period where I think they're just balanced. Like they're solid but not broken.
Yeah, there was a time where standard decks were hot garbage, as I like to say.
Hot, sweet garbage.
Yep. All right, Mr. Jessup, Temple Garden to begin. We're going to see him. You wanted to see Avacyn's Pilgrim? You got it.
You got it. Ladies and gentlemen, potential for turn 2 Reckoner here. Turn 2 Smiter. Let's go. Well, it looks like Van Fleet did board in those Flames of the Firebrand.
Wow, okay. So he just has a Stomping Ground. I was going to pass the turn back. Let's see if Jessup has one of his 3 drops. There's a Rootbound Crag. Yeah, it looks like it's just like probably a voice. A boar.
Ooh, boar. Okay, I'll take that.
A 2/2 boar.
That is the annoying thing about Naya, is that sometimes the boar is just a 2/2. Yeah. And it feels so silly.
Here's a mountain, and there's a boar of his own. 3/3 boar. Standing tall.
Standing tall. 3/3 boar.
Jessup draws his card.
So if he doesn't have a mountain here, that Flames of the Firebrand can be a beating.
It's going to be awesome. What do we have here for a follow-up? He's got another Rootbound Crag in his hand.
Oh, he has a Mizzy
Mortars. All right, take care of the boar.
If he doesn't have mountain, yep, that Flames of the Firebrand is going to be quite the beating this turn, especially if he doesn't have another mana. Does he have a land?
It looks like he has a crag.
Okay.
Let's see what his follow-up
Okay,
is.
so at least he has another creature to play.
A voice or a boar here. Maybe an ooze. Voice, okay.
Okay, so he's gonna lose an Avacyn Pro. He's gonna get 2 for 1, but at least he'll have something in play still.
Assuming Van Fleet does have that 3rd land. And he does have a mountain in his hand.
Yeah, you know what? I'm surprised he didn't just play the Rampager. It looks like Jessup has a Rampager in his hand. I don't really see that much value in casting Mizzy Mortars there.
Sure.
I'd rather just get a 4/4 in play. Look how much better his board would be if the...
Yeah, if that 4/4
and now you can't even cast it. Well, it looks like he has a 4th land, but...
Yeah, come crashing in for 2. Van Fleet going to go down to 14.
I mean, what are you going to... You're going to probably play it now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would have rather just played it last turn and had that mortar still in my hand.
May have missed out on a couple points of damage there.
Not only that, you could potentially cast it for even more next turn.
Here's a Rampager for Van Fleet.
That would be a great mortar target.
Yeah, not the worst. I think Jessup has another voice in his hand.
Yeah.
Township looking pretty good right now.
Looks like it might be a rare revelation.
Ah, so he hedged his bets.
So he did hedge. So yeah, it looks like he doesn't have any options here other than just casting a 2nd voice and passing. He can swing with the Rampager here.
Yeah, he could trade off Rampagers if he wants to.
And kind of bluff a Rampager. But
he could also just attack with both guys, right? Because if voice dies, it's like, okay, I get a 2/2 elemental, and if I follow up guys, like the elemental token is better in the matchup than the 2/2 is anyway.
Yeah, I think I'm okay with attacking with both. Especially because you have a voice as a follow-up. Oh, it's an Oblivion Ring.
Okay.
Okay, so in that case, I'm surprised he thought that long about it. I would have definitely just
clear the way.
Yeah, clear the way, attack. Maybe he's just afraid of Thundermaw.
Sure.
Because Thundermaw, even as a blocker, is probably just going to be good enough.
Yeah, Reign Supreme on this board. Stomping Ground going to get tapped. What do we got here? And backup Rampager. All right.
And now if I'm Jessup, I just untap and smash right away.
Yeah, draw your card, get in there with both.
Yeah, don't even hesitate. Like, I think you're just. I think you just want to put all the pressure on Van Fleet to.
Township since A.
In that case,
Yeah.
I would hold off.
Yeah.
In that case, I would play the land first. And here's the thing. If you do have a township, I don't see the point in attacking with voice. That I don't understand.
I'm actually okay with this attack with voice. Okay, because like you attack with both of your guys, right? Let's say that he blocks the Rampager, right? Okay, so you get your township activation, but he blocks the voice. You get in 5 points of damage with township activation, or you just let the guy die. You get your voice token, then you activate township and a turn, and your elemental is going to be better than 2/2 voice anyway.
No, but I think Van Fleet's just going to take it anyway, right? Like Van Fleet's probably not going to block the Rampager if he just if Jessup just attacked with the Rampager.
It's like a 0% chance he blocks.
I don't know.
Okay, I guess I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying right now. Because if he just attacks with the Rampager, he can't block, and then he misses out on 5 points of damage.
Because my point is, if I'm Jessup, I want to activate Township this turn. So I'd rather just have a 3/3 voice back.
Yeah, I got you.
Because I don't know.
No, your point makes sense. Like I see what you're saying now. Because if he just attacks with just the Rampager, there's no way that Van Fleet can block, and then he just activates Township and actually gets him for 5. So Van Fleet would be at 3.
Because you can't cast voice here because you get blown out by Mizzy Mortars, overloaded. So that's what I don't understand. Like you expose yourself to an overloaded Mizzy Mortars right here.
But I don't think that Van Fleet has that. Not sure. It looks like he has a red card in his hand.
Yeah, Van Fleet's at 4. So if he doesn't have a blocker or a way to deal with one of those creatures, it looks like he's gonna die from Jessup's attack. It looks like he has a land. I'm not sure what. Oh, it looks like he does have a Flint of Port. Yeah, if I was Jessup, I would have just attacked with my Gore Clan Rampager, and then I don't think Van Fleet blocks. If he does block, I'm fine with it because I'm just activate Township. Yeah. But even if he doesn't block, I'm still activating Township, attacking him down to 3. I'm going to have a 5/5 Rampager, and I'm going to have a 3/3 voice. Yeah. So even if Van Fleet does have a Mizzy Mortars, what's he going to do? He can't overload it. My Rampager's still in play, and I just get a voice token, and I kill him next turn.
Gotcha. Makes sense. See Van Fleet trying to figure out what the best course of action is for this turn. He is behind the 8 ball right now, and it's only going to get worse next turn because at the very least, there's going to be a Township activation.
Yeah, it looks like Flint of Port is going to come down, and I think he just has to pass. Unless that red spell is another Flames or a Mizzy Mortars. Or it looks like it's a Volcanic Strength. So, yep.
That's a 5/5. All right.
And this is another situation where if he was able to activate Township last turn, he probably wins.
See what the draw is this turn for Jessup. Oddly enough, Jessup with no mountains in play.
Yeah, so now Jessup, I don't think Jessup can even attack here, because if he attacks, activates Township, Rampager, it gets blocked by... No, he can still attack with everything, I think. He just exposes himself a lot. I think he has to pass and just activate Township.
Yeah, I don't think... I'm in agreement with you, where he doesn't... Like, he exposed himself to getting, like, peeled out by something, where he doesn't need to do that.
He had the opportunity last turn to drop Van Fleet down to 3, which would have made this turn much better, but now he just doesn't have an effective.
Here they come.
I mean, he could drop Van Fleet down to 1 and then hope that Van Fleet just bricks.
So that there. Quick activation. Yep, both guys are going to die, so it's going to be left with just a voice token.
So if Van Fleet's able to top deck a Thundermaw, or... Yeah, he needs basically a Thundermaw, or... Stringer Geist would be okay.
Stringer Geist wouldn't be bad.
No,
how about 2 lands?
So.
All right. Andrew Jessup is going to win game number 2 over Adam Van Fleet. And we're going to go to a third and final one between these two players. Domrinaya does even it up against Red Green Aggro, which we thought Domrinaya would win this matchup. And being down a game, losing game 1, not that big of a deal because the sideboard.
Yeah, in general, you know, I think after board, I'm pretty comfortable with this matchup. Obviously, you'd rather be on the play in Game 3, but again, I think as long as Jessup doesn't mulligan himself into oblivion, he should be okay.
Yep. See if Van Fleet's going to go back to the drawing board and the sideboard to see if he can change anything around there. You got Glenn Jones with the camera taking some pics.
I wonder if he'll keep in the Flames, because the Flames were okay. He was able to 2-for-1 Jessup, but that was really only because Jessup didn't have a mountain in play.
I think it's horribly...
If a mountain was in play, it's just a 1-for-1.
I think it's horribly lucky to 2-for-1 with Flames against this deck.
Yeah.
Like, especially in the matter that he did, taking care of a boar and a mana accelerant with the Flames. It's going to be so rare that it happens.
I mean, it's probably better on the play than it was in Game 2 for him on the draw, but either way, I still think, given... you have to think about how are you going to win this matchup. And the ways you're going to win are my Thundermaw gets unchecked, or I have a creature with a volcanic strength on it that gets unchecked. Those are basically the two main ways, or my opponent mulligans into Oblivion. Of those 3 ways, Flames of the Firebrand really doesn't make an impact, you know? So I would focus on, you know, what matters. Get those volcanic strengths in there, obviously, and everything else I think you just need. I don't want to board out creatures. I don't want to board out my Mizzy Mortars. Like, I don't know what he boarded out for those Flames of the Firebrand, but he has 4 Domri Raids. Those are the only cards that are really terrible in this matchup.
Yeah. So both players are going to take a look at the deck list again. Make sure that they are comfortable with how everything is going for this 3rd and final game. Last game of the tournament.
Last game.
This is it.
For all the marbles.
So many marbles.
So many.
So many, wow.
Jessup riding high. That one Gavney Township. All the difference.
It's funny how, like, good the Gavney Township can be and how bad it can be.
It was terrible for him Game 1 because he had to mulligan because he had a hand of, like, I believe Temple Garden Gavney Township.
Yeah.
But it was backbreaking for even in Game 1 though. I think there was a situation where he had like 3 Pilgrims in play, and if he top decked a Gavney Township, it would have been really good for him.
Quite good, yeah.
So yeah, it's one of those cards that I could see it being really good sometimes, but in general, because of the fact that you have cards like Boros Reckoner in your main deck, and you're already a 3-color deck, it puts a lot of pressure, you know.
See Van Fleet and Jessup taking a look at things in the sideboard. Jessup looks like he's good to go, shuffling his deck. Van Fleet analyzing the sideboard one more time before this 3rd and final game, before we crown a Standard Open champion here in Philadelphia. Don't forget, next weekend we are in Atlanta for coverage. We have a Standard Open and a Legacy Open there as well. Riki Ayashi, AJ Soccer, they'll be bringing you all the fun down there in Atlanta, along with the rest of the SCG Live crew. Should be a lot of fun in the, what do they call it, the Dirty South?
Dirty South.
I think that's what Ludacris and friends call it.
Story about Atlanta.
Oh, here we go. This is what I want.
That's not a long story, but Pro Tour player, SCG Invitationalist, top 8er, Ben Lundquist. He was in Atlanta at the last Invitational, and he didn't have any. It got a little chilly there. The days that we were there, and he didn't have any warmer clothes. He just had like some T-shirts and shorts. And he said he didn't bring any warmer clothes because he just heard that people called it Hotlanta, so he just assumed it was much warmer than it actually. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think you should listen to Nelly videos in order to get advice on how to dress in Atlanta.
Oh, Betty Beatdowns.
Ben Lundquist, ladies and gentlemen.
Just top 8'd in Grand Prix Oakland. So he'll be going back to the Pro Tour.
Very lucky Magic player.
Really? We call Benny lucky now?
He's lucky.
Skilled mage.
What another player who really likes Tron decks in Modern. He's done actually very well with Tron decks in the past.
Yeah, blue Tron decks.
Blue-green Tron.
He likes blue. He likes blue cards.
Blue
cards. Those are stupid.
Yeah,
don't need those to win. It's really funny because when I first started playing Magic, I played like just exclusively blue decks, and now I just won't touch an island like ever again. I used to play like a lot of Psychotog, a lot of Blue-Green Madness.
Yeah. Well, that same thing with Patrick Sullivan. Everyone knows him as the Red Mage, but he used to play like Magpile all the time.
Yeah.
He used to play Chills in the main deck. You know? And now everyone's like, oh, the Red Mage.
Yeah.
Tell me, hey, people literally post pictures of red cube decks that they drafted on Moto on Patrick's wall just to have him analyze it. Like he's like a red god or something. They should have just named
Porphyros.
They should have named Porphyros Sullivan.
Yeah.
Sullivan, God of Fire.
Yeah, that would be great. And it's just a picture of him with a Clippers shirt on.
Yeah,
it would be great. It would be just perfect.
And a backwards hat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Looking annoyed.
Yeah, yeah, man, blue's lame.
Speaking of looking annoyed, the judge on Jessup's side of the table looks really excited.
He wants this game. He wants this game 3 underway.
He's very excited to see Jessup play a Unflinching Courage on a Loxodon Smiter.
All right, both players going to shuffle each other's decks here. We got a final one. Who's it going to be? Andrew Jessup playing Domri Naya, Adam Van Fleet, 7th seed, red-green aggro. Either way, it's going to be a green deck. Kibler, got to be happy.
Kibler, yeah.
It was his birthday yesterday too, so this is like a late birthday.
Oh, that's right.
present.
Happy birthday, Brian.
Yeah. 22 years young. Still looks good.
22 years young. Yeah. Maybe 10 years ago.
Still looks good after all this time.
So Adam deciding if he wants to keep his opening 7. It looks like he's got a lot of mana, maybe not as aggressive as he would like in this matchup, but yeah.
He's going down.
Turn 1, he's got an Arbor Elf, Stranglegeist, and a bunch of lands. Not quite good enough.
I think he's going to keep now. Oh,
okay. Yeah, let me draw 3 more cards. See if I want to keep. So Van Fleet has the mulligan. Looks like Jessup is deciding, and looks like, yeah, he is keeping. So Jessup's going to keep his opening 7. Van Fleet's going down to 6.
Can't be thrilled about that.
Yeah.
Keep it on the draw.
But hey, if you're gonna mulligan in a tournament, I'd rather be in the finals than round 1. You know.
That sounds backwards.
What? No, if you mulligan round 1, you never make it this far.
All right, okay, okay.
I want to get my if I'm gonna get unlucky, I'm fine with it being unlucky in the finals than rounds 1 through 3.
What's the lowest you've mulliganed 2 and 1?
Probably 4, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't we see in Legacy? I think we saw mulligan to 2 and win with Dredge.
In Dallas, it was either 3 or 2 by Dave Thomas.
Dave Thomas, mulligan to 2. Hey, turn 1, land stink with you.
Yeah.
Top deck, go Gary draw.
Yep, I remember that game. I've mulliganed down to 4, 4 in limited, and done it.
Well, we got Legacy action coming later on. Maybe we'll see some more mulligans to 3 and 1.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll even see some
Lion's Eye Diamonds.
Yeah, LEDs, Dredge card, Faithful Suiting. Good night.
So it looks like we have a Stomping Ground, Forest. It looks like there's a Volcanic Strength. So
that
is
the game stealer.
That's the game stealer.
Yep. Here's a...
maybe even turn 1 Arbor Elf.
Boy.
So this is like actually a really good mulligan. Turn 1 Arbor Elf, turn 2 possibly Boar Attack, turn 3 Strength. That's actually the exact kind of hand that Van Fleet needs to beat Naya.
Stomping Ground untapped for Jessup. He's got a Mana Accelerant. We'll see which one it's going to be. I think he might have an Oblivion Ring in his hand,
Wow,
too.
yeah, so Jessup does have a potential answer to the Volcanic Strength plan.
Here's a Stomping Ground coming to play untapped for Van Fleet. 2 mana. It's a Boar. You called it. Haste. In for 3. Jessup goes down to 15.
So it looks like Jessup has a Boar of his own that you can kind of throw in front of that Boar. So I don't think he's going to cast the Oblivion Ring just yet. But let's see what he decides to do.
So he's going to add some mana here.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if Boar doesn't come down here, make an appearance.
There is your Boar. Yep. There's your Sacred Foundry tap. Pass the turn back.
There's plenty of mountains now, so Boar will be a 3/3 on his side.
Yeah.
And so it looks like Van Fleet has another Forest. Not sure, is that a Hellrider in his hand or a Thundermaw? It looks like, yep, we're going to have the Strength plan.
There's the Strength.
So perfect situation for Van Fleet off this mulligan. He's going to be able to drop Jessup down to 10. He plays a 4th land, and it looks like he does have a Thundermaw. So this game could be over very quickly.
Wow.
Even though Jessup does have an answer to the Flinthoof Boar, I believe in Oblivion Ring, we don't know if he has an answer to the Thundermaw that's potentially coming down next turn.
That is the question. Does he have an answer to the Thundermaw or not? There's a Clifftop Retreat.
And you know, we talked about this while they're sideboarding. That's how this deck loses.
Yep. It can just get
Volcanic
overrun.
Strength on a Boar or Thundermaw. It's like those are how you lose. That's why I had extra Selesnya Charms on my sideboard. It's very important to be able to deal with those cards because that's the only way you lose.
2 mana. Interesting. The Ooze. Now he's gonna. Wow.
Wow. I am.
Maybe Selesnya. This could be a Selesnya Charm.
Or you know what? Maybe that's the Rare Revelation.
Ooh.
I don't know what that. It looked like he had a white card in his hand. Not sure which it is, but either way, I think Van Fleet does have enough mana to cast Thundermaw if that is the card in his hand. He has I believe, another Forest in his hand.
There's your 4. Yep, that's 5 mana.
In general, when in doubt, cast the Thundermaw.
Both coming sideways. It's the Ray.
Yep. So he does have the right. And, you know, that's the card you need. So. Yes, you better read Ray.
Yeah, your volcanic strength is no more.
The Flinthoof Boars are going to trade. Jessup will go down to 5 from the Thundermaw. Thankfully, though, he has an Ooze in play, so he can activate the Ooze a couple of times to bring himself up to 7, so he doesn't die to the Thundermaw attack next turn. But that Thundermaw is just threatening to close out the game here. Let's see what can happen. Maybe an Infliction Courage might not even be that bad. Put it on the Ooze, pump it. He has another Forest. Maybe a Thundermaw of his own to try to potentially block it.
Plays a Clifftop Retreat.
Let's see what he has here.
Only has 1 green source of mana, though.
Yeah, can't activate Ooze very often. Only once a turn.
Green.
Looks like he might be doing it. Looks like he might be trying to activate Ooze pre-combat.
Yep.
He's going to gain a life, go up to 6. Maybe he wants to attack with the... Looks like we're going to attack with both.
Sideways.
Wow.
Might be like a Reckoner post-combat. Yep.
So, interesting. He's exposing himself a little bit by tapping out to another Volcanic Strength. But
yeah, I mean,
he had to activate it.
That was I think he just drew a Rampager. He just... Oh, my goodness. Adam Van Fleet.
Wow.
Wins the Star City Games Standard Open here in Philadelphia, defeating a bad matchup in Domri Naya. Kibler's birthday. Red-Green Dragon Master.